Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hillbilly Voodoo channel. If you're new to us, we are trying to build an extreme off-road wheelchair or a tracked vehicle of some type. It's basically a mashup of pieces of snowmobile and pieces of a lawn tractor. If you've been following along with this build, last time I was trying to figure out what I was going to use for a front roller. Well, I was looking around in here and I figured, hey, you know what? That lawn tractor had 4 wheels on it and I'm only using 2 so far. So we peeled that wheel apart, stuffed it in there, and it looks like it's going to give us a fairly good approach angle. You'll have to excuse the ducks quacking in the background. They're a little bit yappy today because it's raining outside and they love that kind of stuff. So, what is the plan with this wheel? Well, I think we're going to use this as our adjuster for the track also. How are we going to do that? Well, somehow we are going to come off of the track here with a bar going up, and that bar is going to pivot back and forth like this. As it goes down, it will travel farther out on this pivot and it will tighten up the track. So the first order of business is to find some shafting of some type that will fit through there, because the shafts on the tractor weren't long enough. For one, they're only like 4 inches, just enough to go through the rim itself. So we're going to have to go wander around. Yes, it's raining, but yeah, there's some snow outside covering up all my really good stuff. So it's probably going to take me a while, and we'll try to find something with a shaft diameter that's that big, or maybe slightly larger, and we can turn it down and stick it in there, or maybe slightly smaller and we can always build a bushing and use that too. Okay, I'm gonna go for a walk outside and see what I can find. After wandering around outside for a while, staring at my feet, looking in my various piles of junk, I found this piece of old axle shaft, which is too large, this piece of pipe, which is too large, and this piece, I believe it's a torsion bar out of an old safari van, which is too small. So I brought those into the shop and tripped over something on the floor. Well, there's a piece of what's left of the snowmobile suspension, and by fluke it just happens to fit right in there. Almost perfect, but it's hollow inside. So what am I going to do about that? I'm hoping that it won't bend, but I'm pretty sure that being that small diameter of tubing with no inside support, it'll bend. It had a piece of aluminum inside for the snowmobile suspension, but the aluminum itself was all twisted and munged up and screwed up. So I'm thinking that I'm going to take that torsion bar right there, cut it into the length that I need, which will be just slightly wider than here, so probably 7 inches. Cut 2 7-inch chunks out, and you say, well, how are you going to machine that? That's spring steel. That's going to be kind of crappy. Well, I'll show you my cure for using spring steel and machining it. Got our pieces of spring steel cut here. Do we know if they're hardened? Well, no, we don't know if they're hardened or not, but they do have lines on the end of them. So we'll do a bit of a file test here. Yeah, the file's just pretty much skating. It's not really cutting in. So I'll show you how we're going to deal with that. What's that noise you hear? That's my furnace heating my shop. What's my furnace full of? Wood coals. Now my furnace has got pieces of spring steel in it. We'll stick the hairdryer in there, get her nice and warm, and it won't be spring steel for very much longer. Once it reaches anneal temperature, I'll pull her out, let it cool off. We'll be good to go. Those pieces of steel have been sitting in there for a good 15 minutes now. And when I said we're putting the hairdryer on them, you didn't think I was heating it up with the hairdryer. No, I'm using it as a blower so that the coals will get nice and hot. So we'll shut that off, pull that out of there, and we'll see what kind of cooking we got going on here. That door is super friggin' hot, so. Well, they look really nice and cherry red. I don't know if those look nice and cherry red. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but we're gonna pull them out and let them cool off so they won't be hardened steel anymore. We'll stick them over here on the concrete so they don't burn nothing down. Ooh, that one's hot. We got all our pieces machined up here to fit in this rim and make it work on our project. That piece that slides in there like that. And then we machine this part. That's out of that piece of spring steel after it was annealed. Cut pretty well, machined pretty well. So there's an alternative to you if you need a piece of round bar, and that piece goes into there like that. And then we machined this piece here, and this is going to go on the end like that, and we're going to mount all this together. Oh, we got another one here too that will go onto that end, and we're going to build a fork off of here and across like a bicycle. We decided against the cam idea because, well, it was getting a little bit too cerebral for me, and I really don't want to think all that much. So I figured we'll come off of here like a bicycle fork type idea, and off the end we'll have a chunk of square tubing that will slot into another chunk of square tubing so that the whole thing can slide in and out, and that'll be our tensioner. Be a lot more simple, a lot less engineering, and it'll, well, I don't know if it'll be quicker, but it'll be less mind-numbing and less thinking that I have to do. I think we'll end this video here after I figure out how it is that I'm going to mount this sliding tube square forky thing on our snowmobile suspension. We'll bring it up in another video. So subscribe if you like this type of content. Stick around for the adventure for the next video, and give me a thumbs up. And hopefully it will bring other people to this channel and they can learn how to build really weird, cool things for super cheap. Again, thanks again. See you next time.